Oh my goodness. They are talking about a fight at Top Rank that I actually want to see. Shakur Stevenson versus Miguel Berchelt is a distinct possibility because Shakur Stevenson says that he is giving up his WBO 126-pound title and moving up to 130. And man, let me tell you, dude, that right there is a great fight, provided that the WBC doesn't try to play some games. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Shakur Stevenson is a beast. Miguel Berchelt is a beast. I think that Shakur Stevenson is the second best, but only because of the age, right? Only because of the age and where they are in their career. I think Shakur Stevenson was the second best 126-pounder behind Gary Russell Jr. And I think that Miguel Berchelt is easily the best 130-pound fighter since the time that, for the interruption, for some reason my Alexa, which is way over on the other side of the house, went off. And well, actually, it's pretty understandable. I got a really loud voice. I project. So it took some instructions. I'm sorry I had to come by. I had to take that quick second to shut that off. And we're going to keep the video moving. So anyway, Miguel Berchelt, Shakur Stevenson. One is the top one, the number 2 126-pounder. The other guy is the top 130-pounder since Gervonta Davis left the 130-pound division. And they're both, I do believe, both fight on ESPN, both fight on for Top Rank. And it is absolutely that right there is a barn burner, potentially classic fight. Neither one of these dudes are soft touches at all. Shakur Stevenson, Shakur Stevenson, there's a lot of people that are saying that Shakur Stevenson has the ability to be an all-time great fighter, right? And they're talking about it because of what he can do in the boxing ring. The guy he's lightning fast. Since his body is maturing, he has his power is increasing. He has excellent footwork. He can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. Well, his inside fighting he is coming along as an inside fighter via the reports by Andre Ward. But as he goes on, right now he's got the outside, he's got the outboxing game down. He's got the mid-range boxing doing very well. But once he gets that inside fighting down, is able to handle himself on the inside, similar to the way that Andre Ward was able to do, man, yeah, dude, this cat can be the best guy at 130 pounds. He can be the best guy at 135 pounds. I think that he could go all the way up and have titles up, legitimately beat top guys at 140 pounds. So, you're talking about 126, 130, 135, and 140 for Shakur Stevenson. And yeah, I think that he does, especially with his team around him of James Prince and Andre Ward, two guys that are extremely experienced in the game of boxing. I think that he can live up to the expectations that Andre Ward has for him, because I don't think Andre Ward is saying that lightly. And just because he manages them, I really think Andre Ward believes that. He comes off very honest when he says it. But Miguel Berchelt is one of these guys that, if Shakur Stevenson is able to beat, is telling you what kind of fighter this guy is. Because Miguel Berchelt he's no soft touch. He's somebody that can, as a Mexican fighter, he can fight. He can fight from the outside. I've seen him box, right? I've seen him go on the inside. I've seen him go to war, seen him slug. I've seen him, he's got heavy hands, he's got fast hands. He's tried and true with multiple title defenses. This fight is something that I would just be extremely excited to see. Miguel Berchelt, now for both of them, and I think this should be the case whenever you get two real top level fighters fighting one another, that this is a huge step up fight for both of these guys. I think it's a step up for Shakur Stevenson, clearly, and it is a step up for Miguel Berchelt, like a monstrous step up for Miguel Berchelt, even though Shakur Stevenson is moving, Shakur Stevenson is moving up in weight. As far as like the actual size of the guys, I think that even though Miguel Berchelt you would think is bigger right now, I'd have to check the dimensions, but I think that Shakur Stevenson is ultimately going to be the bigger guy between the two of them. And I think that because 126 was his first weight class, he was fighting at 126 from what is he, like 22? Because he did go to the Olympics. So I think he might be, when he got his championship, he was he was in his 20s when he got his championship, but his man strength was like, and by man strength, I mean, when you grow in your height until you're about 17, 18 years old, some people continue to grow, physically grow later in age. So every once in a while you hear about people that got to college and in their second year of college, they grew 5, 6 inches like a Scottie Pippen or something like that. But around 18, 19, 20, you're at your full height, but you're not necessarily you're fully grown, right? You still have several years where your strength can increase, and where now that your frame is filled out, your muscularity, adapts to your full size frame. So I think Shakur Stevenson now is in to his quote unquote man strength, where Miguel Berchelt has been there. And I think that this is going to be, it'll be just a very, very hard fight for Miguel Berchelt. And I definitely see Shakur Stevenson beating Miguel Berchelt. But the fact that he would beat Miguel Berchelt immediately puts him up there with, in my opinion, would put him ahead of all of these other guys that are around his age range and that are going to wind up in the lightweight division. Obviously, with the exception of the more established stars like a Gervonta Tank Davis or Vasily Lomachenko. I'm talking about the Teofimo Lopez, the Ryan Garcia, the Devin Haney, right? That type of group. Chris Colbert, some of the bigger guys, obviously, that are around that age group, like Virgil Ortiz and my favorite prospect in boxing, Jaron Ennis. Those two guys are probably going to be never going to match up with Shakur Stevenson. But the other ones, the Teofimo Lopez, the Devin Haney, and the Ryan Garcia, this would put Shakur Stevenson, a win over Miguel Berchelt would be the biggest win that any of those guys would have. And it would be a stepping stone for Shakur Stevenson to really start putting himself out there as one of the best fighters, a step towards becoming one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world. Because to beat Miguel, there is a real, how can I say this? If you look at the pound for pound list that Ring puts out, the Ring pound for pound list that ESPN puts out, it fits certain, the demographics of it stay very, very consistent, right? And that you usually have like either 2 blacks and 3 Mexicans, or 3 Mexicans and 2 blacks, right? Every once in a while, it might go to 3 and 3, but it was never going to go through where 7 out of the 10 are black and Mexican, because you're going to have at least one Asian and 2 Eastern Europeans. So it's like it's split usually. 5 of them will consist of of 2 itty bitty ass Asian fighters, right? Fighting at like 105, 110, 115 pounds. Then some Eastern European fighters. Then you'll have a couple Mexican fighters, and then you'll have a couple black fighters. And they seemingly switch out for each other. So, in order for Shakur Stevenson to get on that pound for pound list, they would have to wind up having somebody like Errol Spence Jr. or Terrence Crawford lose before he could get there on those lists. And the same thing would go with Miguel Berchelt. You're gonna have to have a Juan Carlos Estrada or a Navrati. I wouldn't be surprised if Navrati's up there fall off before he could get on there. But both of those guys, the winner of that fight, I think should be considered for any list of top pound for pound fighters, because there's not too many fighters that are fighting actively right now that have fought somebody of that high caliber in their weight class, right? I don't think Vasily Lomachenko has fought anybody in his weight class since Gary Russell Jr. that is the level of a Shakur Stevenson and a and a Miguel Berchelt. Same thing would go. Terrence Crawford, I don't think has ever fought anybody that in his weight class that is a level of a Miguel Berchelt. Miguel Berchelt, if you can't tell, I think Miguel Berchelt is is an excellent fighter. But look, I'm gonna cut it at that because I think you guys got my point. I really do. I'm hoping. Please let this fight happen. If there's enough money, because I don't think either Shakur Stevenson or Miguel Berchelt are guys that are making a ton of money. I know Shakur Stevenson made $500,000, made $400,000 in his last fight. I'm not sure what Miguel Berchelt made, but that fight I think would be a great fight. And also it's the whole slick black fighter versus Mexican come forward fighter type of thing, which can make for great fights. If it was out there in LA or something, I think a lot of people would be interested. Well, there is no seating, but man, it would be better than any fight that happened for this year for sure. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.